I got bruises and calluses, all kinds of damage from the pain, the suffering, the literal blood, sweat, and I don't do tears, literal pain from building out this dream. You will face this too, and when you face it, you cannot quit, you cannot succumb, you have to push forward. 6 years ago, just 21 years old, I was a participant in the daily rat race that we call our lives. The year's 2018, I just dropped out of university. I got a baby on the way, a small apartment on the outskirts of Detroit, and an entry-level job making $15 an hour. The only difference between me and my peers was that I was not content with this situation. And like you, I realized that if I wanted to live the life that I see in my mind's eye, I would have to figure out another solution to the financial problem. And this is when I came across the side hustle trend on YouTube. And believe me when I tell you, I side hustle, reselling thousands of used clothes, drop shipping jewelry, swimwear, anything that I can get my hands on. I was trying to move and make an extra buck. But the funds never accumulated to be something substantial. It was just always some extra spending money. Fast forward 6 years and one of those side hustles became a business that generated us over $200,000 in the year of 2024. Starting in March, this is a seasonal business. And I don't say that to brag or show off, it's not even that much money. I say that to let you know what is possible. It's possible to reach over $100,000 in revenue in any side hustle. You literally do not need your job if you figure out how to generate income for yourself. You literally have the freedom to do whatever you want to do if you figure out how to generate income for yourself. I promise you, money back guarantee, if you follow the lessons in this video, you will make over $100,000 in your own business or side hustle within the next 2 years. And 2 years is not that long, so whether you choose to do it or not, realize this time will pass and you will either have that bag or you will not. Now, $100,000 is not what it used to be in 2018, but 100 sets the stage for 200, then 300 and onward. But it all starts with a mental understanding. Before you can implement a system that pays you more money than a doctor who's been studying for 10 years, you have to understand the tools at your disposal. First thing first, what can I sell to get there? Now, we've gone really in depth on this in other videos on the channel, but this is going to be a broader introduction to this concept. The fact of the matter is that there are people making millions selling bread. There are people making millions scrubbing floors, painting walls. The first thing you have to realize is that what you do does not matter. It is how you do it. You can literally start a doggy poo-poo pickup business today. Run that thing for 2 years properly and have $1 million doggy poo-poo business. Who wants to do that? I don't know. But the point is that it can be done. Whatever your venture is, whatever you're working on, you have to realize that it takes time. Everything that we do takes time. Everything in your life takes time, whether that's building your body, having a relationship, operating a business, getting rich, all that stuff takes time. Mastering your side hustle or business and turning it into a top 10% business in that industry is going to take time. Most of us are not going to bring a product to the market and swing it out the park on your first attempt. It's going to take hours and hours and hours of iteration and reiteration to make sure you're checking all the boxes in your service or your item or whatever you're providing. Most of us quit before we even realize how bad we are at whatever we're doing. Not even realizing that you have to practice in order to get good. You're gonna quit this thing, then jump onto the next thing, realize you suck at this too, and then gonna jump onto the next thing. Everybody sucks at everything they do the first time they do it. It just is what it is. Some of us needed help breathing when we got here. You need to accept the fact that it's going to take you a lot of time to get to where you want. A week, a month, 6 months, a year, 5 years, whatever the case it is. It took me, this is my 5th year, 6th year in business, until we finally hit $200,000 in 1 year. 6 years to make this happen. I got bruises and calluses, all kinds of damage from the pain, the suffering, the literal blood, sweat, and I don't do tears, literal pain from building out this dream. You will face this too, and when you face it, you cannot quit, you cannot succumb, you have to push forward. I've seen the people around me fall down. I've seen people who started before me fall down. I've seen people who started after me fall down. What separates the people who fail from the people who succeed are the people who get up, providing the product, and you have to be good at getting up when the product fails. All these things will be built up over time. I've had plenty of botched jobs that make me feel horrible to the point where I don't want to run this business, or I don't even want to get up and get going on the next day of my life because of whatever happened in the situation. Trust me when I tell you that it always passes. Do not get stuck on one thing. Do not get hung up on it. You have to keep moving. You're also going to have to build a reputation, which takes, you guessed it, time. Your marketing is the lifeline of your business. Whether paid or organic, your brand needs to grow in a positive light. We'll touch more on that a little bit later, but it does not matter what your financial vehicle is. You can be in construction, e-commerce, entertainment, doggy poo-poo. With enough time, practice, and proper messaging, you can become a leader of industry. Again, this is where most people fall short, and I'm gonna keep beating this throughout the whole video. It takes 1, 2, 3, 4 years of taking these shots, re-aiming, recalibrating, figuring out a new tool, figuring out a new vehicle before you can consistently get it right. It is hard, it is stressful. There's a good chance that you will likely go back to working for somebody else after you start your own business. And there is no shame in that. What we're doing is not easy. But understand, you are only defeated when you finally throw in the towel and say, I am no longer growing my business anymore. But you're not gonna say that. You're gonna take a step back, you're gonna recalculate, adjust, and fire again and make the right move. And I know that because you're still watching to this point in the video. If you wasn't about that life, if you didn't have this in you, you wouldn't even be watching to this point in the video. You would have already clicked off. So make sure you attack like your life depends on it, because it really does. Rinse and repeat until you have achieved your financial goals. Now, the biggest piece of advice that I wish I would have had when I started is the disadvantage or advantages of certain business models. Now, I know cats that's working hard, and I mean hard, that's not making over $100,000 because of their business model. I don't care what level you're at. I strongly believe in working backwards. All right, what is your goal? What do you want your life to look like? How much money do you need to create this life for yourself? How much free time do you want? How much stress do you want? I didn't ask myself this question when I started my first business, which was while I was selling used clothes on eBay. Thousands and thousands of used clothes on eBay. The real OGs know about eBay. We'd get used clothes from a thrift store for as cheap as 20 cents. We'd resell them from anywhere from $7 to $50. Humongous profit. An easy way to turn nothing into something. A few extra $100 a week at that time was cool. But when it was time to make full-time money, oh man. Imagine having rooms, literal rooms full of boxes, labeled boxes of clothes, thousands of poly mailers, 15 to 20 items that you'd have to dig through these boxes, search for, find, bag, label, print, ship, the whole nine. Every single day, it became a lot for a little very quickly. Could I have adjusted the infrastructure to make scaling this business doable? Absolutely. But again, why would you? Was I willing to go through that extra stress? Did I have the extra space required to house all this stuff? Was I complacent in my current education? Was I okay doing this? Or did I want something better? Did I want to advance? These are all things that I would have considered before I even started if I would have known better. But you don't know until you know, and that's why I'm telling you, if you don't know, now you know. Make the right decision. Don't do what I did. At least do better than what I did. But that's where we started. Fast forward 10 years later, the boys learned a few things. Now we can make thousands of dollars in a day with much less effort. Ask yourself about your business model and why you are doing it. Does it fit your plan for your life and your future? If it does not, you got some thinking to do. Is it something you really believe in? If it's not, you got some thinking to do. If you knew you can make 10 times that amount of money by learning solar panel installations, would you go do that? If you knew that you could fix one Lamborghini a day and not have to do anything else for the next 30 days, would you put in that time, that effort to learn that skill and perform that service? There's really no right or wrong answer to the questions that I'm asking. It's really a personal thing. What do you want out of your life? What do you want out of your business? What do you want? You have to figure this out and understand that you are not married to any idea or any business that you started today. You could have been doing this business for 5 years and just figured out after this video, this business sucks. I'm not doing this no more. I'm gonna go start the doggy poo-poo. More power to you. A mature entrepreneur and mature adult is going to adjust based on market conditions. The most underrated advice in this video is what I'm about to tell you, and that is a properly positioned brand is underpriced and unmatched. Just think about all the companies that you've purchased something from within the last 30 days. I bet you've been buying from these companies for years, if not decades. Not only does this prove that you need to stay in the market ready with your hand raised, but also that the top players really dominate all of the industry. I know you bought something from Amazon this year. We all have bought something from Amazon this year. They are the biggest brand that is consistently providing the best results in the commerce space. They've made commerce much more convenient for the customer and even the providers. You have to become the Amazon in your own industry as far as the branding goes, as far as the production goes, as far as everything that they do. Copy Amazon. They are the best example of what you want to do as far as customer interaction is concerned. They're fast, simple, hassle-free, over-deliver on the results almost every time. If they do fall short, they're giving you some extra. They're going way out the way to make amends or to make things right for you. This is good business. This will allow you to stand out in your market. This is where the 5-figure contracts come in, the word of mouth come in, and business really starts rolling for you. If you have not started the process to set up your brand, if you don't have a digital portfolio or an online presence, you need to do that now. Click the link right up here. We already made a video on how to set this up. You can get it done in 30 minutes. You need to do this. It's 2024. This is the digital age. You have to get with the times if you are not already on it. Google My Business page, Facebook business page, all that, man. Make every single one you can. You really only want to focus on 1 or 2 channels. We'll dive deeper into that in another video, but make them just so you can be out there and you look as legitimate as possible to any potential prospects. Get as many good reviews as possible, incentivize your customer without breaking any laws as far as the reviews go. Yes, there are review laws. No, I don't think anyone follows them, but don't be one of the people that gets banned on Google. That is not a good time. These things seem small, maybe even insignificant, but I guarantee you that if you implement these things, you do these things, start today, because again, it's gonna take time to get this stuff to grow. But once it's there, once it's growing, it's just going to snowball. You will literally make more and more money every single year if you try to grow consistently every single year. Once you have a reputable brand, you will start to attract the proper customer. And the final piece is production, which really is the easiest part of it all, but it's also the bottleneck when you get to when you get to the higher levels of things, right? And by production, I mean, how good are you? Can you get better? Are you top 10% at whatever you're doing in your industry? Are you a top 10 creative? Are you top 10% in your knowledge? Are you top 10% in distribution? Are you top 10%? Whatever the thing is, you need to be top 10% in that before you can really like turn it up, man. Like, I'm gonna just be honest with you and understand something. You can be in the top 10% even if you have top 25% skills, okay? This is where skill stacking begins. Naval Ravikant, I believe is how you say this guy's name. He made this series a long time ago, How to Get Rich Without Getting Lucky. And he was talking about skill stacking. And I followed that little video series he made or whatever on Twitter years ago. And I can tell you it works. What he tell you, it's true. I'm not getting lucky, but I'm able to consistently generate revenue. You will consistently be able to do the same thing. His big message was skill stacking, right? You can be a top 30% deck builder, a top 20% content creator. You can be a top 15% salesman, right? You combine these 3 things together. Now you're a top 5% service provider in this specific industry, because who else is stacking video production skills with sales production skills, with online marketing, with actual production skills into a single company? Most companies require multiple people to fulfill these roles. You are an individual. If you, the individual, can become proficient in 2, 3, 4 of these things at one time, now you are worth your weight in gold. You literally can do something that only 5% of people in this industry can do all together. And I know that's a broad analogy for this, but I hope it makes sense, and I hope you understand that if you do want to be a musician, you are top 10% on the ukulele, and you're top 10% at gaining attention on online platforms, you literally will be one of the most popular people in the ukulele music scene on the internet. And as a result, as long as your production is good, as long as your work is good, as long as it sounds good, people will be looking for you when it comes time to book a ukulele artist. So even in the most extreme examples, trust me when I tell you that it is true. Become so good that people feel compelled to tell their family and friends about the experience. Take your time, capture good pictures, do everything you can to make yourself look as good as you can. Because trust me when I tell you that 90% of people are not doing that. Go the extra mile sometimes. Do a little bit of extra work for your customers. People are emotional and people make emotional decisions. Make your customer feel emotionally ecstatic about you. Make them love you. Make them fill that role. One happy customer can literally bring you hundreds of thousands of dollars over the course of your career. Now, there's tons more that we can dive into, but this is the short list on what you need to do to start making over $100,000 in your own side hustle or business. If you are not making that money yet, or what you can do to increase that. Save this video. Again, a money back guarantee. If you follow the steps in this video, you come back, you implement the steps in this video and all the other videos on this channel, and you literally do not have a six-figure business in 2 years, I need you to call me, hit me up, send me whatever you got to do to get in contact with me. And we need to talk about this, because you're not doing something right. You're not doing something right. And if you're really that driven to call me after you've done this for 2 years, I will help you at no charge. But I need the proof, man. I need to see the proof. It's worked for me. It's worked for my family. It's worked for friends that are close to me. It just works, man. That's all I got to say about it. But I hope you found this video useful. I hope that you sincerely take this in. I hope you took some notes and you actually are going to implement this. Continue to learn, continue to grow. I will see you at the top of that proverbial mountain. Take care.